All right. Good morning. Good afternoon, whatever the time may be. So today we wanted to just go live and quickly talk about a few things. Over the past couple of weeks, obviously, there's been a few developments with amplifiers mainly. Obviously with some headphones as well. It kind of goes hand in hand. Um, so a couple of weeks ago, one of my buddies on HeadFi, Slim, and Slim, if you're watching this, shout out to you and thank you for the tip. We were just, talking, and I was sending him pictures of the studio and the stuff we had. And he sent me pictures of this new amplifier that he got, and he said the Silver Fox, and he said um, this is one of the best, if not the best, amplifier I've ever had. And he's someone I know. We've been talking for a while now, and I know I have a kind of good insight into his preferences and the gear he has. And so I got intrigued and got in touch with Cen.Grand, which is the brand that makes the Silver Fox. Hello, Zealous.
Hey everyone.
Wow. Hey, every zero viewers we have. Oh, JP is here. Hello. Finally,
Hey.
we have someone. Um, so we got in touch with Cen.Grand, and as it turned out, there is a UK distributor for them already, and I think that he was one of the first international distributors to actually get on it. So Ian, if you're watching this video, also well done on finding this gem. And so yeah, we got in touch and we said that we would like to test the amp and see if it meets our, just test it, and then get some impressions and see if it's something that we want to carry. And we spent, both of us, and then also obviously some members of the London community, spent about 1 week, 10 days testing it, and trying it over multiple days, going from it's good to it's really good to what else is there, etc. um, and the conclusion is that we're talking about it today. So what I would say about the Silver Fox: number one, it's massive. It is not a small amplifier. It is big. It's hi-fi size amplifier, and which is interesting because Cen.Grand, on their website, they say that the technology um, is inspired by power amps. It is massive. The power rating is also massive. I think it's rated at something like 22 watts at 32 ohms or 16 ohms.
20 watts into 30 ohms, I think.
Into 32 ohms, yeah. The power spec is absolutely massive. Now, we will talk about this a bit as well today, but these power ratings are numbers. And at the end of the day, what matters is really listening and testing with different headphones to actually assess performance. Because as you're gonna see, we have here today, we have I might let me move the camera to show. So what we have here is the Muscobo 394, and then we have the Questar CMA15 that we still love, and we will maybe talk about it a bit today. Is that camera? And then the Silver Fox. So you can see the size, and it's not tiny. It's not a small amp. Um, so the power rating is again similarly big. It is a powerful amp, but we will again dig a bit deeper into that. So our conclusion after 1 week was that absolutely, this is absolutely a product that we love and we want to carry for a few reasons. There are pros and cons. It might not be for everyone. Um, the cons, as I said, is that it is absolutely massive. Um, it Even though it is rated as being very powerful, it drives Sosvara well enough, but I wouldn't say that it is the amp that drives Sosvara the best. That would be the other one, the one on top. That would be the 394. But it is a very, very powerful amp still. The inputs, So you get two XLR inputs, two balanced inputs, which is really good because if you have multiple DACs or multiple sources, that's really good. The output options are probably the most furnished I've seen in any amplifier in terms of you get four different what they call impedance modes, whether it's gain impedance. Again, you get three low impedance modes and one high impedance mode. Now, whether that's actually impedance matching or more or less gain, uh, we don't really know. I don't know certainly, but the different modes will pair better with different IMs and headphones. And then with each of these impedance modes, four of them, you get four grounding options, right? So again, these change the sound. They give you a punchier sound, a smoother sound. So you essentially have 16 options to select from. You get obviously XLR out, you have single-ended out, and then you got also 4.4 out, which is a really, really nice touch for people who listen to IMs like myself. Silver Fox, in a nutshell, I would say is a very versatile amp. There is a slight tilt, like a warm tilt to the sound, I would say, in the sense that the bass has a really, really good body. Um, might not be the most textured bass I've heard in terms of texture. So there are a couple of amps that maybe do texture better, but the bass body is absolutely phenomenal on it. The bass texture is still very, very good. The sound is very natural and very, very pleasant and smooth, but that doesn't mean that it is dark or lacking in anything. It's a very technical amp. It will sound wide when it needs to. It will give you a lot of stage, a lot of separation. Vocals sound absolutely amazing. There is a little bit of treble roll off, you want to call it, or just smoothed out. The treble is essentially very smooth with this amp. So it is really, really good for pairings with brighter maybe headphones like the HE1000 Stealth, a little bit bright, Ananda Nano, a little bit bright,
HD100S.
HD800S. For those headphones, it will be absolutely unbelievable because it will help with that with the forwardness in the treble. So we do like the versatility. It is very powerful. It does a great job with Susvara. It did a better job with Susvara than the Holo Bliss, for example, which again is an amp we love. We're going to be talking a bit about that one as well. Great, great amp, really good value, really good sound. It has this versatility and these inputs outputs that are really, really good, and you get 16 outputs essentially to select from. And they do, as Bogdan is saying, the different outputs do absolutely make a difference. So like literally I was listening to our crazy headphone pick of the moment, which is this one. This is the Nan 7, and not many people know about this yet, but everyone will, and we're gonna make sure that everyone does because this headphone, couple of one member of our community has gotten it because I told him that there was someone in his country selling it, and I was like, you cannot miss this one. You need to get it. It is such a good value. It's such a crazy headphone. Um, we will talk about it maybe another day.
Yeah.
We will like dedicate a video to this because this came out of nowhere. But what we know is that it is made by someone who is very experienced. As you can see, there's some gold going on there.
Yeah, gold-plated diaphragm, which is
gold-plated
quite
diaphragm.
unusual.
It's a planar headphone. It is very light, very comfortable, extremely light and comfortable. Even in this hot weather, it does not, it does not get too cumbersome. Amazing headphone. And so I was testing this headphone, which I would say this headphone with some amplifiers for me can have a little bit of forwardness in the treble. It is not too much, but there is a little bit of what we call spice. Yeah, Shavi, you do know these.
Hey Bogdan, hey Xavi.
Hey guys. And so with the Silver Fox, I had a great sound out of the high impedance mode, and I had an even to me better sound on low impedance mode with what they call parallel grounding. Whereas in the high impedance, I was using a different mode. So these combinations of impedance and grounding do absolutely make a difference, and will give you a smoother sound that's a bit more rolled off, or a more aggressive, kind of more neutral sound. So that's about my impressions of the Silver Fox. I'll hand it over to the actual expert.
No. So yeah, the Silver Fox. Yeah, it's quite a unique amp, especially in relation to versatility. You know, so much options. It is powerful. Um, I really like the display. I really like the volume dial. You know, you get, I think it goes up to plus 5 dB and then it will reset again. But you have a lot of granularity with the volume range there, and it's quite interesting because it's so the dial is analog, where there is a point where you can see, but it's actually digital. It's digitally done on the display, and it uses, I think it's the one flagship Muses volume chip, and I forgot which
It
model
uses the
number it is.
Muses 02 somewhere, which is
Yeah,
a good op amp. Yeah,
which is, yeah, I mean, it's the flagship volume chip, so it's pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Silver Fox has four uh, uh, inputs, which, as obviously as Ahmed said, it is amazing for, you know, comparing and testing DAC. So two RCA inputs, two XLR inputs.
Yeah.
Now, incredibly, I know this is going to sound nuts, but because it uses two 3-pin XLR headphone ports, you can technically, I mean, don't, but you can use this as dual mono.
Oh my God.
You can use just two mono.
This one's for Michael. This is for our MSO, Michael.
Which is insane. And the fact that it's, yeah, you know, and the fact that the volume is digital, like you can get it precisely matched. I
Yeah.
mean,
Which
please.
you can do with the 394. By
Yeah,
the
you
way.
can do
And
that with the
we-
394 as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
and the 465.
and the 465.
Which is
I
crazy.
mean, if you go monoblock 465, then whatever. I don't even think I want to talk about the 465 today because it's just not fair. But yes, you can use the 394 and the Silver Fox as monoblocks if you wanted to. I would say, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's good to have the option. Anyway,
I
right?
know.
Some people do like those options.
Yes.
You know, Questile in the past have released the CMA 800R, I think,
Yes,
which
you can
was
do as
literally
monoblocks,
designed to be used as monoblock. So it's not a crazy idea, and certainly not, yeah. But if you're gonna use the Silver Fox as monoblock, make sure you have a large space
It's a big boy
and a big room. It doesn't heat up too much, though.
No.
There is one thing.
It's quite cool, I'd say.
It is a quite cool amp. So the Bliss heats up much more than it,
Yeah.
Especially in the kind of where the transformer is, and but it doesn't get that warm. So whatever heat management there is being done really well.
One thing I'll say about the Silver Fox, though, which is really, really awesome, especially when you toggle through the impedance options, is that you can, especially with IEMs, you can really lower the noise floor, which is really cool. And it definitely is something you have to play around with. You know, it's an amp that you definitely need to, you know, tinker, play around with for sure. But you can reduce the noise floor, which is pretty amazing. So it's really versatile with IEMs as well, which I find, you know,
Yes.
pretty amazing. I really like its sound. It reminds me. It kind of sounds like a super ultra kinky THR1.
Right.
So it's like it's a MOSFET oriented sort of design, a bit to be like. There's fullness, there's richness, there's warmth. Again, this can change on the, you know, the output modes as well. But I'm quite the fan of the Silver Fox.
Yes.
It is big though. For God's sake, it is big.
It is.
It's the same width as the Bliss.
Yes.
Exactly the same width, but probably twice as tall.
It's twice as tall,
Yeah.
and it's also a little bit deeper
Deeper,
than the
yeah,
Bliss.
yeah.
Yes,
But the width is the same.
the width is exactly the same, which I think is like standard hi-fi rack
Yeah.
size. So what more to say about the Silver Fox? So the good news is, and by the way, VSG is saying, I just joined and people are laughing loud. Looks like a good time. Well, what do you think we're doing here, man? You need to come and have a good time with us. Yes, I mean obviously, doing what we do is that there are, this is the good thing about it is the nice days are really crazy exciting because we were as excited and curious about the stuff as all of you guys, and when we receive something new and especially when it turns out to be really interesting, it's really cool to share it. And this is also why we're going live is, we find in this hobby that sharing and discussing and sharing experience is actually a nice element that takes us away from like all the technical nitty gritty of designs and graphs and stuff, and actually just talk about the musical experience that you get. And that's to me what the Fox is. The Fox is a very,
Mm.
very musical amp, and as a result I do like it with a more aggressive DAC, something like the TT2. The chord sound, I find that the chord sound is a very good pairing for the Fox. You can obviously, you know, plug in an R2R or the Bakun DAC, which is to me very kind of, I don't even know how to describe the Bakun DAC sound. It's like a tubey R2R sound, very musical. Um, with the Fox, if you want to go all the way into warmth and mellow and romantic sound, you can do that. If you want something more technical, then I prefer a more kind of neutral DAC, like chord. So the TT2, some people say that the chord DACs can sound a little bit digital. I think that depends on what you pair them with. I think it's all about synergy. So this
Mm.
morning, the Bliss paired much better for me with the Bakun DAC, even though you lose a little bit of stage width, which the TT2 is absolutely amazing at. Is so wide, and you get that extraordinary separation and width and height, everything. So with the Bakundak, you lose a little bit of that, but what you get in musicality, especially when you listen to uh, vocals. Again, if you're listening to modern electronic, very kind of modern mastering music, you might want to go with the TT2. But if you're listening to rock, jazz, vocals, female vocals, emotional stuff, then to me it was a no contest, and I absolutely loved the pairing of the Bliss with the Bakun, and I love the pairing of the Fox with the TT2.
Mm.
So we go again to pairings. Some people say DACs don't matter. Maybe, I don't know. To us, they do, and we hear it. So, so
That
that's
was a
about
spicy
the.
take there. That's
Is
a
it?
spicy take.
I
No,
don't.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's a spicy take to say Dax don't matter. I
it
mean,
is a spicy
you
take.
know,
Yes,
that's
I agree. And because some people, actually, one of you guys said earlier last week, I think he said, if I had to do it all over again, I would start with the DAC and build around it.
mm,
And I thought that was really insightful because
mm,
it's interesting because the DAC at the end of the day, the um, they matter in the chain they are included. Exactly, Shavi, exactly. So everything works with everything. So the audio chain goes DAC, amp, transducer, human. We
mm.
always forget the human in that, but the human is very important. Morning time, evening, how stressed out you are, how relaxed.
If you're hungry,
If you're hungry, what you have been listening to the past few days. So if
yes.
you're listening to a bassy headphone or IM, and then you switch immediately to something else that's more neutral, it's going to sound thin, but actually give yourself time to adapt to that, and it's going to sound fine again. Maybe not everything, but some
Mm.
stuff will. So what I would say about the Silver Fox is that the good news is there is a smaller Fox coming, and we already. So yes, we are carrying Cen.Grand. We are excited about the Silver Fox. We think it's a appropriately is good value product. Um, the build quality is excellent.
Oh,
It is
fantastic
fantastic
build.
build.
Oh my god.
So it's big and heavy, but it's that also makes it reassuringly solid and sturdy. Um, And I love personally the volume wheel on the
Mm.
Fox. I find it to be really nice action. Um, the inputs outputs are nicely done. It's easy to understand. Um, Great amp. So there's gonna be a smaller Fox, so small silver Fox that's coming. That's gonna be much smaller size. It will be probably the same width as the Questar
Yeah,
CMA15,
probably.
less heavy, and apparently it will carry about three-quarters of the power. So that would be
Mm.
exciting because that would make it still powerful enough for pretty much anything that's reasonably from easy to very hard to drive.
And it's all silver as well.
And it looks all silver. They come in black as well, which is nice. And the units we'll be getting will not have the gold knob, but will have a silver knob, and some gold accents. But so anyway, yeah, Cen.Grand offers some customization. So we're excited about Cen.Grand. We will be trying some of their DACs very soon as well. Been hearing good things. There was a YouTube review recently from a British
Oh
audiophile.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very very good review. Obviously, that review was more to channel oriented. Um,
It was their DSD deck, I think.
yes,
Yeah,
the middle one, the super clock.
yeah.
Moving on now to the to the crazy one. Yes, it's making me laugh because that amp is so crazy. So as some of you guys know, we have been working with Muscobo Sensei, as we call him. We say hello to him if he's
Hello.
watching. We love your work. We love what you're doing. This is again another brand that came to us through the community, and then we kept hearing about it. We kept hearing about it up to the point where we were like, we have to try this stuff. So we went for it, and oh my god! So
It was almost mythical status it had, and
there is,
the
it is,
Muscobo goodies.
it is one of these small, it's like I'm making all the amplifiers. One guy who is
Built by me.
by me, and we joke about this, but we absolutely love what the guy is
Mm.
doing, and seriously, mad respect for people who actually can reach that level of expertise in any area in their life.
Mm.
I think it is a beyond the audio. I think that it is a human achievement to actually master something so well that you can make the things that Masuda-san is doing. The 475 is obviously the portable one and is a crazy amplifier. The 433 is the kind of starting point in the desktop amplifier range. It's a bit more affordable, and when I received it, I was already in love with it. It pairs so well with some of our products. Funnily enough, it pairs so well with the Helios SE. It pairs so well with the Storm. It is such a good combination of warmth and technicalities. It doesn't have the widest soundstage, but at that price, you have to also be realistic about what you can get. But oh my God, the bass it gives you and the quality of the treble is already amazing. Then we received this one, the 394, and it is a small amplifier. The footprint is even smaller in width than the Questar, and I'm gonna say it. There's no other way to say this, right? So 465 aside, because the 465 is kind of in a crazy category of its own, but this is the best headphone amplifier that certainly made it to my listening desk, and I think to the studio within a certain price range. If we're not going into that kind of super premium money no object, right? This is still an expensive amplifier, but oh my God, does it deliver for the price? And when I say this, I know some people who maybe are not following us on Discord or not following our channel, don't know us, will be like, yeah, you're just going, oh my God, because it's one of your
You carry
expensive
it.
amps
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
carry it and you want to sell it. But no, has been the impression of every single person who came to the studio and heard it. It is an oh my God moment with it because it's a very small footprint. It is so powerful that it was the first amplifier that I've had in my possession, knowing that my reference amplifier before the 394 was the Cavalli Liquid Gold that I love to bits. I still love it to bits. But with the Sosvara, I always felt that Sosvara was imposing its will on the Cavalli. As in, the Cavalli was driving it well, it was taking it loud enough, same as the Silver Fox, but I was feeling that at the end of the day, Sosvara won that game, won that battle. As in, you can't tame me. You can't get me.
It was the more dominant one.
The
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 relationship.
394, even on low gain, takes Sosvara and goes, come here. There's no other way to say it. This is one of the first amplifiers, other than this other amplifier. That's a speaker amplifier. Sorry about the mess. I'm trying to not spill my coffee today. This is this is a 200 watts speaker amp, and yes, it also does good things with Sosvara. Um, understandably, and actually, the performance of the speaker amp is comparable to the performance of the 465 with Sosvara, which is again another crazy story. But we'll leave that for another time. I don't feel ready yet to talk about the 465 in detail,
Yeah.
but I do feel ready to talk about the 394. It literally it takes the 394 for the first time. I could feel that an amplifier was driving Sosvara to its potential. You can feel the the dynamics go to another level, the staging. You can feel that the headphone is delivering optimal or close to its optimal performance. And it obviously, again, the nice thing as well about the 394 is that it's a small footprint, and it also has a crazy it doesn't have the same optionality on inputs as the Silver Fox or some other stuff. So you get one balanced input and one XLR input, and that's it. But then in terms of outputs, you have low gain and high gain, and then you have within the low gain and high gain, you have low output and high output. And then you have three different outputs. You have a low and high, whether you call them impedance or gain, single-ended outputs, and then you get the balanced output. And then you also have the dual 3-pin XLR. So
and there is someone out there who bought two 394s as monoblocks
yes.
for the MySphere, I think it was.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is a crazy amplifier. So yeah, you get essentially 12 power options, which means that the 394, as crazy powerful as it is, will be driving anything from IEMs. You might get some noise floor with the very sensitive IEMs, like if you're using something like the V16, you might be getting some noise floor. You might not. I haven't actually tried. I will need to test that.
Or the Andromeda or Odin or something.
Yeah, but in general, you should be able to get a really quiet. So what does the 394 do? I mentioned the stage, absolutely phenomenal stage, absolutely phenomenal width. But before receiving the 394, people told me 433 is a little bit warm, 394 is bright. We don't find the 394 bright.
No.
We find it musical and neutral musical, as in the low end has one of the best textures that I've ever heard. And this includes anything that I've ever heard in my entire life. It is a game changer amp at Summit, absolutely, 100%. The punch and the detail that you get in the bass is phenomenal. It is just it's a joy. It's that's what gives you those wow moments. It's like, oh my god, what is this? Like, and then it just overall everything is exceptional. The layering, separation, the timbre is very natural. It's a very transparent amp. It's a masterpiece. There is nothing else I can say. And people who know me know that I hate using superlatives and hate saying very, very positive things about something. Are there negatives with the 394? You could argue some people don't like the looks. I find them fine. I think Muscobo design is really cool. The volume knob I like a lot.
Lovely, smooth action, but enough resistance. It's quality.
I couldn't point a negative about the 394. At that price, I couldn't point something that I would say it's a negative. It's an amp that has a small footprint. It is surprisingly small for what it delivers.
Thanks,
and it's very versatile. It pairs very well with different things. It pairs very well with the TT2, and it pairs amazingly well with the Bakun. Um, I struggle to find something very negative about it, to be honest. Yes, there is one negative. You get a Japanese power cord. All right, I've been talking too much, man. I hand it over to you.
So yeah, I think the 394 is a world-class headphone amp. It's simple as that. It is world-class, and it is strictly a headphone amp. So you can say that is a negative for some people who want the preamp functionality. I understand that, but this is a specialized product. There is nothing gone to waste. It was designed from the ground up as a headphone amp. That's all it does, full stop. And it is outstanding. It is exceptional. I'm going to get to the positives. I like to do negatives first. So so the front plate of the 394, there is quite a bit of text going on. So with the with the pinout readings, there's a bit of markings and text and all that stuff. It could be simpler, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But oh my lord, this amp, it is so. This is so. Obviously you hinted upon this earlier. So the Silver Fox is rated at like 20 watts at 30 ohms. Yeah? Ridiculous power. One of the most powerful headphone amps on the planet. On paper. On paper. The 394 is 2.2 watts.
It's Japanese
at 32 at 32 ohms. At 32 ohms, okay? So remember that. 20? 2.2. All right. The 394 powered everything that we threw at it. And I'm gonna name
one, but it was a prototype. Yeah, so we will not.
We're not even gonna.
Yeah.
So if okay, since we hinted, can we mention it or not really?
We can mention it, and we can say well done to Ryan from Modhouse for making an amazing headphone, which is the tungsten that many people have heard of, and we Skedra was kind enough to and Ryan, with his approval, were kind enough to leave the prototype with us for a couple of days, and we got to test it. But we got the caveat that, hey guys, be aware that this is a prototype. It is extremely hard to drive. It is extremely hard to drive. And the final production model will be easier to drive, as confirmed with Ryan. So that's why I want people to be. It's a great headphone. It's priced very competitively, very comfortable, great pads, great build. I've ordered one myself because when you see stuff like that, you can't, it's kind of, it's really cool to support, I think, passionate people from the community. So yeah, definitely, Ryan, well done. We support your project, and we're very happy to see more passionate people following up and making their own product. But yes, that prototype was supremely hard to drive, as in it made Sosvara pretty much seem like like an easy to drive. It is just, we could only drive it off the power amp and the 465. The 394, the Cavalli, the Silver Fox said, no, I can't.
It needs a lot of gain. That
was with bassy tracks. So like, one of my absolute like asset tests for bass is Get Lucky. Please, if someone is watching this and understands why Get Lucky draws so much current, please let me know, because I haven't yet heard a track. I'm sure there are other tracks that do it, but Get Lucky seems to draw so much current that if an amplifier isn't performing super well or isn't driving a transducer to full potential, and I say transducer because this happens with Storm, that's very hard to drive, happens with Sosvara, then either you will get distortion in the bass or the bass will just go quiet. This is something that Cameron Golden Sound told me, is when the amp is struggling, they will tend to, the bass will go quiet, but everything else will go loud. And so you will have a bassy track, but all you hear is, mids onward. but other than that, and so we cannot take that prototype as a baseline for anything really, um, because it's not even a final product.
Yeah.
But other than that, the 394, anything with the Abyss 1266, Sosvara, the Nan, which is hard to drive, HE500, which is hard to drive properly. Um, there is
The
nothing.
K1000, the MySphere, the Diana TC5
Yeah.
hybrid, the GLA 50, any what we chucked everything at it, and it can, Helios SE, Storm. It
Absolutely.
just
Yeah.
it's the grip and the control that the 394 Mark II offers on and provides for the transducers is unreal. And the LCD4.
And
The LCD4, which is a very
I missed that one, but
which is it's a unique planar magnetic headphone because it's very high impedance, but then it's a little bit inefficient because the sensitivity I think is 96 dB per milliwatt. So that's a very, very unusual planar magnetic headphone because it needs a bit of everything, current and voltage. But yeah, it just powered everything, and it was, I think, you can maximum we got to probably it was 1 o'clock ish.
Yeah, I mean,
on the dial,
yeah.
There's still so much headroom.
There's a lot of headroom.
available.
If you go, like even Sosvara, I think we tend to use low gain, maybe low gain high output or high gain low output, because if you go high gain high output, then it becomes maybe too much. Like again, but these options where you get high gain, low gain, high output, low output, and then three different again layers, is that you get 12 steps. Look at them as 12 steps. The Silver Fox is different because it's not 16 steps. The Silver Fox is 4 steps, but within each of them, you get like a different flavor, something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas with the 394, you get 12 steps essentially. You start from step 1 with the low gain, low output, and then using the single-ended low, whatever low is low, let's call it gain, out, all the way up to high gain, high output, balanced out. That would be the most aggressive sounding. So yeah, exceptional product. This is an exceptional product. This is not something that you and again, as I say jokingly that I've heard 3 amps in my life. Okay, I've heard a bit more than 3 amps now, but this guy here, Zealous, he has extensive experience with headphone amplifiers. So he has heard pretty much everything, and we are both blown away by the 394. There's no other way to put. It's similar to when you get something like Storm, something like Susvara, and you put it at you put it in the right context. It just blows you away because it's such a good product. Xavi is saying so annoying. I still love the 433, by the way, and with some transducers. So again, I'm not sure that I would necessarily enjoy
the power cable.
the power cable. It's Japanese. So one person who got the 433 asked me, "Oh yeah, can you that's not good." No, the anyway, we'll go there maybe another day. But the power cable, okay, I think that we will just include the UK power cable
or European
or European. It's fine. I think as a negative, it's one that we can forgive. So that's when it comes to amplifiers. I think we've said it enough now that we're blown away by the 394. The message is clear. We hope that obviously we're very happy to have one on display here, that we have it in the studio. We encourage people to come and visit us if they want to try it. What else do we want to? Was there anything that we wanted to cover today?
I think that. Do you want to touch on the Bliss a little bit? Oh, no.
Yeah, the Bliss. Yeah. Yes. So the Bliss. Going back into the Silver Fox. So the amplifier that we were kind of comparing the Silver Fox to was the Bliss,
which is the KTE version.
The KTE version of the Bliss. Amazing amplifier. Absolutely love it. Again, you get two XLR inputs, one RCA input, and then you get high impedance, low impedance outputs.
Yeah.
Again, different style to the Silver Fox, because we found that with planars, low impedance worked better.
Yes.
Right. Most planars anyway.
Yeah. So the max current is on the low gain option.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to get the lighting right, but it's not. Anyway, next time. What else about? So the Bliss, very powerful amplifier. So now we're in terms of signature, Bliss and Fox are a little bit different. Where the Bliss, I feel, is a little bit more neutral across the board, which can be a good thing or not so good, depending on what you're looking for. I believe that the Bliss, Holo are obviously famous for their R2R DACs, and I feel that the Bliss was designed to work with that, which is great, because then you get the Holo stack. So to me, the Bliss paired better with the Bakun DAC. I love the bass texture on the Bliss. I like the stage. I like the detail. It is a neutral amp, but it is not a boring neutral amp. It's a dynamic amp, dynamic sound. With the Silver Fox, we found that they were kind of, depends what you're looking for again. If you want a slightly smoother, warmer sound without compromising too much on the technicalities, then the Fox. Sorry. If you want a more neutral amplifier, maybe then the Bliss. What I would say, however, is where the something is that the Silver Fox with all the 16 outputs. Oh, sorry, we're still trying to figure out the light here. I don't think that's great either. Anyway, so the Silver Fox with the 16 output options, with any transducer, you can go from warmer and smoother to more aggressive and more neutral. Sorry about this light effects. Whereas with the Bliss, obviously you get it's a one signature. Very well designed amp. We love it. We think it's very well priced. It's competitive. Not crazy about the volume knob, because the clicks are quite loud, so you can hear them. The footprint is on the same, even though it's not as high, but the footprint in terms of width is as much as Silver Fox. But absolutely great amplifier. And we found that the Bliss and the Silver Fox, again, in terms of, one more thing is, again, the Bliss, in terms of driving hard to drive headphones like Sosvara, it does a okay job. I personally found that the Silver Fox did a slightly better job. I think that neither does an optimal job, but those who know Sosvara know that it's a very, very hard to drive headphone, and it's difficult for most amps to get the most out of it. So it's not a criticism on any of these two amps. They are both very powerful for most stuff. You get more than you need, way more than you need. Very good technicalities.
Yeah, the Bliss is, I mean, that, again, I would just get the negatives out of the way first. So yeah, it's very wide. It is big, so be wary, in terms of desktop real estate. It takes up a lot of space. It does get a little warm.
It does.
It does get a little bit hot with usage. So I would avoid putting anything on top of it. I think even Holos say that should be the top if you stack stuff.
I think so.
I remember them saying something like that. The volume, the clicks, the relay clicks when you adjust the volume, it is quite loud. If you're like a moderate to low SPL sort of listener, and you use open back headphones, just something to be wary of.
Yeah.
But looks great. The build is great. It is powerful. It is spacious sounding. It is quite punchy. Very fast and tight bass. I really like the bass performance on it. It is obviously quite transparent, quite resolving. And yeah, it's a quality amp. I really like the fact that it has the 4.4 mil socket, which is great. Because there's a few headphone amps, higher end ones, they don't have that Pentacon 4.4 millimeter balance socket, which is really, really great for IEM users.
And I think a lot of headphone users
Yeah.
are also now moving to Pentacon because
Mm,
I personally find that a Pentacon connector is obviously takes less real estate,
mm.
um, and it's easier with XLRs. You have to kind of it's nothing major, but you kind of have to find the right way. You have to sometimes like
Yeah, there's some
twist it
alignment with
around.
4-pin
You need to
XLR.
get the right alignment. Whereas with the
Yeah.
4.4, you just plug it in. It's if the connector is good and the cable is good, then you actually get a very good um, connection. It's less bulky than the XLR, so it is a great termination overall,
Mm,
and we're happy that the market, definitely the IEM market, and I think a little bit more of the headphone market is also gravitating towards that.
mm.
It's great to see amplifiers that have that, and the Bliss and the Fox both do that,
Yeah.
and it's a great touch.
So I'll say, like, actually, I'm going to quote what you said, Sound Jedi, earlier. So definitely, the Silver Fox is a rival to the Bliss, and we're talking, the KTE Bliss,
Yeah,
in every way. So technicalities, spatiality, tonality, and etc. However, obviously, the Silver Fox is e- extremely versatile because of the various output options and combinations. I mean, 16 in total, which is
yeah,
insane. They have such flexibility. But the Silver Fox can sound like the Bliss, but the Bliss cannot sound like the Silver Fox. And
yeah.
this is with the same DAC. This is with the
With the
same
same
DAC.
deck,
We're
yeah,
not. This is not. We're not talking about synergies. We're just talking with the same DAC.
yeah,
I really like the fact that the Silver Fox is a bit more tube-like. It is a bit more fuller, richer, meatier sounding.
yeah.
The mids I much prefer on the Silver Fox. Exactly
Same,
like
same
you.
for me. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly
when
like
it
you.
comes, when I listen to Norris Cole or when you listen to a really good female singer and you want to get that emotional voice, you need to feel the emotion of the voice. I felt that the Silver Fox gave me a bigger, more layered, more textured, and more and rich voice. So I got a bit more emotion from it. Now with when the Bliss with the Bakundak, I got that back as well, which is why I say synergies.
Hmm.
But yes, the obviously the Silver Fox is a bit more expensive as well, I believe. A little bit more, a couple of hundred more, 300 more
Hmm.
dollars, pounds, etc. But you get a little bit more optionality,
Hmm.
and you get a better volume wheel. Um, but they're both, I mean, they're both great.
Yeah.
Again, like
Excellent.
we are
Excellent
talking
amps.
about an upper tier of amplifiers
Hmm.
here. These are all some of the best amplifiers that someone that you can buy on the market. And the fact that they are not priced crazy expensive, they are not cheap at all,
Hmm.
but the fact that they are not crazy expensive is actually relatively a good thing.
Also, obviously, I do want to point out, yes, the Bliss is also a preamp, which the Silver Fox isn't,
Right.
which is the 994 isn't, and it is, I can assume, is a very good preamp. I can, we can try and test that later with the
It
speak
should
amp.
be a great preamp.
But yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a very, very good headphone amp, just like the Silver Fox. And yeah, these two are some of the best on 5K or
Yeah,
4K, under 4K.
under 4K both, yeah,
Yeah,
which is really good.
cool.
So yes, it's a lot of positives. It's not all positive, but there are a lot of positives. And obviously, remember that we spent a lot of time researching, and like stuff doesn't end up here by accident. We don't just have stuff that's coming, and we actually target what we want to listen to, and that's usually we want to select the best we can find. And so yes, it's more fun to have good amplifiers and good headphones and good IMs than to have ones where it's not as good. So I think that summarizes it for today. Have a flight to catch. going for a long weekend, let's say. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much for
Always
joining,
nice to
guys.
have your comments or your insights and questions. And we hope that this was helpful.
Thank you. Yes, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Absolutely.
Take
All
care.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye.